There are stories in sports that lift you up, stories that inspire. And then there are stories that break you apart, yet leave behind a fire that never dies. The story of Mickey Mantle belongs to the second kind. It is not just about home runs or championships. It is about pain, about broken bones and broken dreams, about nights of tears and mornings of hope. It is about a boy from Oklahoma who carried the weight of destiny, who was hailed as the next big legend, and who lived his life between greatness and agony. Mickey Mantle. The name alone carried electricity. Fans whispered it with reverence. Teammates stood in awe. Opponents feared him. In the 1950s and 60s, if you walked into Yankee Stadium, the shadow of Mantle loomed everywhere. He wasn't just another ball player, he was the beating heart of the New York Yankees. But beneath the thunder of cheers and the bright lights of stardom, Mantle lived with the truth most fans never saw. Every swing, every sprint, every dive was a gamble with pain. His body was a battlefield long before the games were won or lost. From the very beginning, his story was different. Mickey grew up in Commerce, Oklahoma, in a small mining town where baseball wasn't a pastime, it was survival. His father and grandfather, both miners, wanted a different future for him. His dad pushed him to bat both right-handed and left-handed, training him under the dim lights of a mining town field. That training created one of the most dangerous switch hitters the world had ever seen. But destiny has a cruel sense of humor. Even before he became a superstar, Mantle knew pain intimately. As a teenager, he contracted osteomyelitis, a crippling bone disease that could have ended his career before it even began. Doctors almost amputated his leg. Imagine that. Mickey Mantle, the man who would one day define Yankee greatness, almost never played a single inning. But Mantle fought back. Surgery saved his leg. Pain became his permanent companion, but he refused to quit. And when the Yankees called him up in 1951, baseball changed forever. Mantle was young, handsome, and fast as lightning. His swing was poetry. His home runs weren't just long. They were towering, mythic blasts that disappeared into the night sky. Fans swore they had never seen anything like him. He was supposed to be the heir to Joe DiMaggio, the golden boy who would carry the Yankees dynasty into a new era. Yet fate would not allow him to have an easy path. In the 1951 World Series, Mantle's nightmare began. Chasing a fly ball in the outfield, he tried to avoid DiMaggio, his idol. In doing so, his cleat caught a drainage cover in the grass. His knee twisted violently. He collapsed in agony. That single play would haunt him for the rest of his career. The doctors operated. The knee was never the same. And from that day forward, Mickey Mantle played baseball on one good leg. Think about that. One of the greatest players of all time, running bases, smashing home runs, diving for catches, on a body that betrayed him again and again. But he didn't stop. He refused. And that's what made him different. Year after year, Mantle limped onto the field. Year after year, he pushed past injuries that would have ended lesser men. His knees buckled. His shoulders tore. He suffered countless infections, strains, and breaks. But the fans never knew the full extent of his pain. What they saw was a superstar. What they saw was a man who played like he was built from steel. In truth, every single day was a war against his own body. And yet, what did he do with that pain? He turned it into history. 3-time MVP, Triple Crown winner, 7-time World Series champion, over 500 career home runs, Records that glittered even brighter because behind every number was suffering the world could not see. But Mantle's story was never just about numbers. It was about fragility. It was about a man caught between destiny and disaster, between glory and destruction. As the injuries piled up, so too did the demons off the field. Mantle drank heavily, using alcohol to numb his pain. His body was breaking. His spirit was breaking. But his pride never broke. He kept playing. For the Yankees, for the fans, for his father, who had died young and never saw the full extent of his son's greatness. Think about that moment. The kid from Oklahoma who had nearly lost his leg, who carried the hopes of a dynasty, now dragging himself to first base on knees that barely worked. The cameras caught the swing, the smile, the jog around the bases. They didn't catch the nights he lay awake in pain, the mornings he could barely walk. They didn't catch the despair he carried in silence. That's the truth of Mickey Mantle. He was not just a hero. He was a man breaking apart in front of the world, but never allowing the world to see it. Every time Mantle stepped onto the field, fans expected greatness. They expected the impossible. And somehow, Mantle gave it to them. His home runs weren't just numbers on a scoreboard. They were moments of escape. They were explosions of joy that made you forget, for a second, the suffering behind them. And that's why his story isn't just baseball history, it's human history. Because it's about endurance. It's about refusing to surrender when everything inside you screams to give up. But let's not lie. Mantle was human. His lifestyle, his injuries, his choices, they caught up with him. His health declined. He became a symbol of wasted potential even as he was celebrated as a legend. People looked at Mickey Mantle and saw two men at once. The hero who hit balls into the upper deck and the broken figure limping away from greatness. His body, so often betrayed, finally gave way. In 1995, Mickey Mantle passed away. He was only 63 years old. Fans wept. Teammates mourned. A city that had worshipped him for decades suddenly felt empty. Yankee Stadium felt quieter without him. And yet, does Mickey Mantle really die? Number legends like Mantle do not end with a funeral. They echo. They live in every highlight reel, in every child who picks up a bat and dreams of greatness. They live in the statues, in the stories, in the cheers of crowds who never even saw him play but still speak his name like a prayer. Mickey Mantle's life was not perfect. It was flawed. It was painful. But it was real. And in that reality, he became eternal. So what do we take from Mickey Mantle's story? That perfection isn't the true measure of greatness. That brokenness, endured with courage, creates a legacy stronger than flawless triumphs. Mickey Mantle didn't just play baseball. He survived it. He endured it. And in doing so, he became more than a player. He became a symbol of the human spirit itself. If you've listened to this story, and if Mickey Mantle's journey has touched your heart, then don't just stop here. Share this story. Tell someone about him. Keep his name alive. Because the world needs to remember men like Mickey Mantle, not just for their victories, but for their struggles, their humanity, their fight. That's how legends never die. They live in us. And if you believe that Mickey Mantle's spirit lives on, then do one simple thing right now. Subscribe to this channel, like this video, and leave 3 words in the comments. Legends never die. Because Mickey Mantle was not just a ball player. He was not just a Yankee. He was a fighter. He was a survivor. And even today, decades later, his shadow still walks the diamond, reminding us that pain may break the body, but it cannot break a legend.